Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, sir, Mr. Leonard. I don't know if anyone can hear me. Hello, sir. Can you hear me? Good afternoon. Okay, good afternoon. Welcome to this very amazing and insightful webinar. And it's hosted by the Creators Circle and proudly sponsored by ADOS Creation. My name is Mukhtar Kasim, and I am going to be the co-host for today's webinar. Our host, Debbie, would be joining us shortly. She's having issues with her network, but we would go on until she joins us. It's a pleasure to have you on what promises to be a power-packed conversation on the business of creativity. That is the topic we will be talking about today. And we'll look at how it's going to be a strategic guide to profitability. It's a session that is equipped with strategies to monetize your creativity, build a profitable brand, and achieve long-term success in whatever industry you might find yourself in. But before we go on to the topic of the day, I will like to tell us a bit about ADOS Creation, which is hosting this webinar. ADOS, AIDOS Creation is a digital and creative marketing agency that specializes in AI-driven solutions, cutting-edge design, and content creation. Meanwhile, okay, the Creators Circle is a community which is created by ADOS Creation to empower Nigerian creatives with the knowledge, skills, and connections that they need to thrive in the industry. Today's webinar is not just about learning, it's about tapping into the wisdom of someone who has been at the forefront of media and branding here in Nigeria and even above outside the country, that is. If you've ever wanted to meet a person who is an expert, a go-to expert in media, in brand positioning, and revenue generation, then you are at the right place, I assure you. The man that we're going to be having as our guest today is a person whose insight has shaped countless creatives and businesses. And today, I can tell you that it's a rare privilege to have him talk to us directly today. Ladies and gentlemen, I am talking about no other person but the amazing Mr. Leonard. Good afternoon, sir. Welcome to this session. Hello, sir. Can you hear me? Mr. Leonard. Okay, I don't know if our guest speaker can hear me or if anyone else can hear me. If you can, please signify in the comment section that you can hear me. Okay, you can hear me, but I seem not to have any response from our guest speaker. Mr. Leonard, are you there, sir?
Yes, I'm here. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. Good afternoon,
So
everyone.
thank you so much for joining us. I would like to tell our audience a bit about you before we go into the conversation. So Mr. Leonard is a powerhouse, as I said, in the media industry, and he has been everywhere and he has done everything. So let's have you say one or two things, sir, before we continue. Thank you very much for joining once again.
Well, it's good to be here. Uh, I'm hoping more people join as we are about to start.
Okay, that's
What
actually a
else
good
you want me
point,
to
actually.
say?
That's true, sir.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you. Are we starting right away?
I think we should
Are we
start, sir,
still
because
waiting for
it's
more
already
people?
set.
We're starting right away.
I think we should start, sir, while more people join.
Okay. Would I be able to share my screen to share a presentation?
Yes, I think you'll be able to share your screen, sir. Go ahead. Thank you so much.
Okay. Where's that part? Okay, it says I can't. So you guys have
Okay.
to enable me to be able to do that.
Okay, let's work on that. I think I've turned on the feature that allows you to share your screen, sir. You may proceed.
Oh, okay. Okay. I'm going. Okay. Okay, can we see the screen?
Yes, we can see your screen, sir, clearly.
Okay. Okay, good. Well, sorry, my voice is somehow. I've been through a lot. This is a very busy period for me. So I would like us at any point to ask questions. I will just share what I have to share from my background. I'm a media development person. So even though we are talking about the creative sphere, I'll be speaking from the point of a content developer,
Hmm.
which is what your organization is anyway. But we should know that the creative space goes way beyond that. It goes way, way beyond this. So in fact, we've not even explored enough. We've not even explored anything when it comes to the creative space. So let's see. Maybe I can put it on PowerPoint mode. Okay, are we seeing the screen on PowerPoint mode now?
I can see the
Can we see
logo
the
of
screen on
Cleverest.
PowerPoint mode now? Yes, on
Yes,
PowerPoint
yes,
mode, right? That's
yes, sir. It seems to.
presentation mode. Good. Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
Cleverest
He has
communication.
said some things about me, but is this some of my in those days life. But what I do now is support organizations and individuals to meet their communication needs, just like we're doing now. So Clever Center has been on we set it up in 1999. That's over 25 years now. We've been doing free trainings for young people, helping to build young people all over in the creative space. That's what we've been doing, and we continue doing that. It's been self-funded. No funding has come from anybody to do that. And why we do this is because we want to show that it is possible. You don't have to be a millionaire before you can help anybody. In fact, the people who say, hey, when I have money, when I get rich, when I do this, when I do that, I would help people, they never get to help anybody. And that's the truth. And some of their helps are accidental. Um, let's take our celebrities that we have, for people in the creative space that we belong. You know, a lot of us struggled at the early stages, but when we now make it, you know, you don't remember all those who are struggling with you. So that
True.
was my experience, and I prayed to God then. I remember in my 100 level, leaving Pan Am Percy Paul's studio, and I was begging him to help me produce my album. and and he said, go and bring money, any amount. Yeah, sure, yeah, in Abuja, go, and all that. And I came out and I put my hand on my knee and I said, God bless me, I'll help any upcoming artist then. I thought maybe God will give me money and I'll build one studio and start recording upcoming artists for free and things like that. But God had other plans. I never knew that it was going to take me into the mainstream creative and media space where I would have a lot of influence on the media and help a lot of artists with their promotions and so many things. I never knew that I would have this Cleverest Center that would be one of the, let me say, biggest platforms in Nigeria so far that has been helping a lot of young people, without any support, just from run by strictly volunteers, not all this NGO type and all that. Never knew that. So that's how it happens. So if you have that genuine art, God will definitely provide a means for you to help people. And one way to do that is to study, make yourself known, have skills that you can share. It's not about giving people money, but it's about helping them with skills that will help them become better people. Okay, so I'm going to run through this. You'll be checking me with time and let me know when I need to stop. There are so many things. This kind of topic, if you saw the way you guys put it, you have a lot of things under. Each one is a training session on its own. But we're going to try to share some points with us. And when we talk about the creative space, from the angle we are taking, it is about content, but it's not just about content. It's about content that wows you. It's about content that content is anything. You watch content every day on TV, you watch content on the streets when you move about. Anything that happens around you is content. What's going on now with River State is content. But what makes it creative is how you put it out there. And I'll say this, creativity is, you don't teach creativity. People are born with it. It's a gift from God. But over time, some of us have come up with some formulas that could help you to look like you're creative. I worked in the BBC for 14 years. At one stage, I produced, what's it called? The
Flavor.
radio program called Flavor that some people know that was about HIV and AIDS. Now, as at then, you don't even want to hear the full HIV, just the H, and you've gone. You've gone away. And then till today, the most boring kind of programs you want to watch on TV or listen to on radio are health programs. If you check even the pages of health NGOs and so on, you see how boring they look. It's people just bring in one doctor and you start talking jargons and then that's it. It's really boring. If you watch TV, even the political space, crazily boring. All they do, they bring one legislator and then you start talking and that's all. Everything about the River State thing is about one interview or the other. Really, really boring. So what makes it creative is when you are able to do something that is beyond the ordinary, something that is totally different. And that's the first stage. When they say this guide to sustainability, making your product sell, generating income, it has to start with you. First of all, producing that content that is out of this world. So you have to find ways to build yourself to be able to produce that content that is out of this world. So that's the first thing, okay? So whatever it takes you to learn how to be creative, I said they don't teach it, but there are things you could do to learn how to be creative. You have to do that first. I'll mention a few things here now, but that's a totally different ball game entirely, and we can't finish it here. So first thing has to do is you must have that content. You must have that creative content that is out of this world. Like you see Pumbaa there, You can imagine a Nollywood person being the one producing The Lion King then. How it would have. Are you guys hearing me? Are you hearing me? Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, good. Good. I think the host muted me or so. So you find out that you hear some kind of crazily dialogue that has nothing to do with anything, but you bring in those things to just make it exciting. So when we were producing Flavor then, it was a youth program, it was a health program, it was a magazine show, but it was about HIV that nobody wants to hear. Health that is supposed to be boring, but that was the most exciting show that ever existed on the surface of this country, probably Africa. And our office in Tanzania then, they had to pick from it, they learned from it, and they developed a governance-related show called Niambe. And that was the show that led to the change in government in Tanzania. And they brought that guy, Magafuli, even though he's late now, that tried to change a lot of things. So that's what creativity can do. When you bring things in a different way, put it out there. During the NSAS period, we saw how that protest went. It was a very creative protest. But in fact, it was one of the most creative in the world. Unfortunately, the government couldn't tap into it and take ownership of it. Rather they squashed it and did all what they did. I was interviewed on Cameroon TV during that NSAS, and I told them about that, how the young people creatively put that thing together, and you could use creativity to change your life. Some of the richest YouTubers, skit makers, and all that, they are all here in Nigeria. And what do? Some stupid things we see every day. There's none of their skits that is really, really original. Because in Nigeria, we are born and blessed with that natural creativity that happens every day. I remember the first time they tried to stage these comedy shows in Warri. They've they've cracked all the jokes for like 1 hour, and then one of the bad boys just, how did they talk for there, just bust bottle. Una no go start after 1 hour of cracking jokes, because the jokes are the same jokes they hear every day as they go about on the bus. You see someone's a small child trying to sell plantain chips for you, and you'll see the guy come, and instead of, in Lagos, you'll see something like someone comes with this kind of innocent, nice voice. Mo Farah, something or something like that. Mo Farah this, in a very nice way. But there you'll see the guy walk up to you, small, tiny little kid. They say, bros, try quicker. So these are normal things that happens every blessed day. Okay, a lot of the slangs came up from schools there. One of the popular schools there is called Urobo College. Funny enough, that's the school I went to. After leaving Lagos, I went there just to finish up. And you find out that a lot of things, they were very, very intelligent. The slangs came from textbooks, encyclopedia, those normal things. But the ability to translate that normal thing that looked boring, that looks normal, into something unusual, that is what creativity is. Okay? So for those who are not born creative, there are many people in the creative space today. 80% of the people in the creative space today are not creative. That's the truth. A lot of the skit makers that put skits out there are not creative. That's the truth. And it's not just in Nigeria, yeah, even in your popular Hollywood, a lot of them are not creative. That is the truth. But you see, there are a few things you could just do that will now make what you do look creative. So you just have to look for that thing. And I'll share this here. It's my copyright. You use it anywhere. I'll sue you to court. Number one, just think different. If everybody is thinking this way, just go the other way. Number two, think simple. Just look at things around you, nothing spectacular. Okay. And then number three, this one I can't explain it. The Holy Spirit will translate this one to you, is think upside down. That's where the real creativity is. So when you think that you've thought out this concept, you think that you've thought out what you want to do, just look for one stupid way or something, just scatter the whole thing and put it out there, and you'll be shocked. And that's what we did with the youth program Flavor that turned HIV. We received all kinds of text messages from all over the country. And I remember one of the text messages then, said, this in a program, they too sweet. It go make person want go get HIV. Please don't. But you see, it turned something that was supposed to be boring, health program, something that was supposed to be scary, something we didn't want to touch. It turned it into something sweet, something exciting. And that's the first thing you have to do if you want to make it. Now, everybody is a content creator. Everybody that has a smartphone is a content creator. Look at it. Our politicians are dragging YouTube and TikTok space with you. I've not had the strength to go on TikTok yet, and the politicians are dragging it with you. El-Rufai has more followers than you, the creative. Wow. Dino Malaya comes out and does his acting. Fayoshe is a superstar, perfect Nollywood actor. You see, the Bala Blue we want to talk about, it trended well, more than whatever you want to put out there. So what is it that you're going to do to just make you stand out and make you just destroy the entire space? That's what you have to think about. Just anyhow you think about to get it done, you just do it. Okay? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Hey,
thank you very much.
Why is my screen stuck? Okay, now it's moving.
Thank you so much for that response, sir.
Yeah. Now, the other thing is that we know the challenges we have in Africa. It's mind-boggling from, we have the story of the youth corps member, complaining. But when you see the makeup, the hair, the eyelash, you wonder what she's complaining about. I know of coppers serving in so many terrible villages who don't have anything. Okay, I didn't bother go look for that video to watch the video. Because what the truth about it is that we have loads of challenges. Now, we should focus on real challenges, not some challenges made caused by our own way of doing things. Just like I said at the beginning, Cleverest Center, for instance, has helped thousands of young people. We started from the NYSC camp, going to camp every year night from 1999, training corpers. And some of them are general managers. They're all over the world. Last week, we did a webinar on how to break into the media industry, a guide for core members. And some of the people who passed through the Cleverest Center system shared their experiences there. For those of you in the Cleverest Center group, the recording is there to go play. Now, there are real challenges facing us as content people. Now, someone who wants to be a student who wants to be a content creator, I hope she joins this training also. Left our group once. Why? Because she was struggling with data. Now, they've increased the cost of data. I was shocked. I just had to load just now just to be able to do this. It's crazy. So when you don't even have enough money to feed, how would you have data to post your creative work? You know, you don't have food to eat. How would you be able to think? Now, cleverest came from, for those of you who know the story of David and Goliath. So it's about you making the best out of anything you have around you. So this lady complained about her data finishing and all that. But there she is watching videos on TikTok that are not helping your creativity when you don't have the funds to do it. You know, spending time doing all sorts of things, and you lose your data when you could use that data to do stuff. So first thing I want to talk about to creatives is this: there are challenges, but let the challenges you complain about that is stopping you be genuine challenges. You don't have funds to buy data is a genuine challenge, but not when you're using the little funds you have to buy expensive wigs, expensive makeups, going to lounge and places where you shouldn't be. Now, you must be able to use your resources well if you know you want to be a creative content person and be sustainable. Let that 10 kobo you use for data be for that thing that is meant to be. Apart from that, financial challenges, the economic situation, you have other challenges. Electricity is there. You don't have power to even charge your phone to do anything. You have the challenge of people looking down on you, criticizing your work and all that. We'll talk a little bit about that later. So there are challenges all over the place. But what I want to say is this: just look around you. There's something you can do. If you don't have data to post your work somewhere, walk into and somewhere and tell the people there, hey, I have something to share with you. You know, just do something anywhere. Start in your house, you know, make everybody laugh. Create scenarios, you know, do something. Draw something, write up something, send it to somebody, do something with whatever that is with you. That is the way to overcome your challenges. You must not dwell on, see, if you dwell on the challenges of Nigeria, you will never ever do anything. We have problems all over the place. And Nigeria is a very rich country, so there are opportunities all over the place. So what if you were somewhere like Somalia, you know, or Djibouti or Sierra Leone and all those kind of places? What would you do? There are opportunities in this country. Just look around you and don't look at the challenges. Okay? So is there room? Is there anything we could do to make it? Yeah. Number one, think like there is no box. You have to think like there is nothing stopping you. The government cannot stop you. Nobody can stop you. Your employers cannot stop you. If I was waiting for someone to help me, I would not be here sharing this today. Leonard will not be who he is today. In the early days when Facebook started, my Facebook pages grew, my personal pages and my Clever Center pages grew organically. It wasn't, then Facebook didn't start, just started. There were no, all these opportunities were not there. You know, I have 4 Facebook profiles. The first one got filled up just like a year after I joined Facebook. My LinkedIn profile, the same thing, organically. So it wasn't mechanically. But it was just because I was just willing to put out something there differently. So Nigeria wins a match. Instead of me saying it the way everybody said it, I just say it differently and I post and everybody laughs, everybody likes it, and we grow. And I always post things that will help people, things that developmental things, not some of these, let me use the word immoral skits we post here and there, and some other things, media would prefer to post some high service political people. I'll post things that would help any ordinary person become better and just clownishly say anything I want to say. I would never ever say anything the way it should be. Now, not all of them worked. Some will not work, but you must be willing and daring to get up and say, hey, there's nothing stopping me. You hear people say, oh, like those working in media organizations, they'll say house style. What's house style? The people that talk about house style in the organization, they don't even know what the house style is. There's nothing like that. What do you think can just blow you out there? Do it. Try it. If they criticize, let them criticize. You learn from it. And you could use that same criticism, you turn it into something else. Someone insults you, and honestly, if we think like there's no box, there won't be problem in Nigeria. Because I prayed one prayer when I was getting into university. I prayed two prayers, actually. Number one, food will not be my problem. Number two was, the second prayer was that my anger will not last more than 5 minutes. So I could shout now, get angry with you. In the next few minutes, I'll say, see your head like coconut, come on, come here. We start laughing again. Now, if we are able to turn everything around into jokes, into humor, into all that, we won't have problems in this country. We'll be fighting each other. You see the politicians, they're fighting each other. Tomorrow they'll come, they are friends to win elections. Let's be like that. Just think like there's no box. Think like there's nothing stopping you. Be willing to try anything. Try the unthinkable. Okay? Then the other thing you have to do is to observe. Just observe anything. Meanwhile, you can stop me anywhere and ask a question. Just be observant. Observe anything. All the skits you see that are getting all those millions of views and getting those dollars from YouTube, Facebook, and everywhere, TikTok and everywhere. Is there anyone that is something that you don't know or something you've not heard of or you've not seen before? There's none. So every day as you observe things, whatever you observe, note it down and just think of what you would do with it. How can I turn this thing into something else? How can I do something different with it? And mind you, let me tell you the truth. What I'm sharing with us are from mistakes I made. Now, if I knew some of these things in my early days, like when I started this Cleverest Center and all that, maybe I would have been a multi-billionaire by now. And my advice is that you have to start now, do it early. And that's why I'm spending the rest of my life helping young people so they don't make the mistakes I made. So you can make your millions. Now, it's very difficult for me. I had to learn most of the things I do by myself. I didn't have anybody really teaching me. And so I had to learn from my mistakes and all that. There was nobody to guide me, nobody to show me, hey, this is what you could do. I had to learn. So I got to find out a lot of these things pretty late. Now, when you start working in a proper organization, like I spent 14 years working in the BBC, you find out that you don't even have time to do your own thing. You don't have time to do anything. And as you grow older, it becomes more and more difficult. There are loads of things I want to do today now. I can't do them anymore. So what gives me joy is when I share with young people and then they get to do it and I see them excel and I smile and I'm happy. It's as if it's me that's making it. So be observant. Don't just enter a cab and just stone your face and look around you, just with the people sitting next to you. And all it starts with just a smile and hello. And before you know what's happening, you find something. Someone might say something, someone might do something. have something to take notes so you don't forget. Write it down and you think, okay, what can I do with this thing? Write it down so you don't forget. My content creators who are in media organizations, they don't like writing. They just go on there and start ranting. And that's why you rant for 1 hour, you don't make any sense. And someone would always say, oh, time is not enough. You don't know how long. Facebook, see, those skits you watch that make millions on TikTok, how many seconds are they? You must be able to write things down so you could make it concise. Be able to summarize. I could summarize the entire River State debacle from beginning till the end in just a few seconds and put a skit out there, or just a picture, and then you just put one caption and everybody just looks at it. You make people to have that kind of like, now you see the picture. Now I don't have things written there that you're reading, but this picture could tell so many different things. I use these same pictures to train on anything. And people will just be imagining. They'll be thinking of so many things. They'll think of the whole world, just by staring at one picture with one caption that you have there. Okay? Then you must be willing to follow the process. See, there are lots of skit makers that are trending today that in a couple of years, they might be nowhere. Well, thank God, a lot of them, when they make some money from it, they invest in other businesses, and some stupid ones, when they make this money, they start to live large, and before you know, they are in debt and all that. And then they start hiding away from the public. We've seen celebrities, musicians who waste their money and they get into trouble. Others go into all kinds of yahoo things to maintain that kind of celebrity status. See, you must be willing to follow the process. You don't just jump into it. Developing content that are sustainable, that are creative. See, today I'm still talking about flavor that was produced in 2005. The HIV celebrity spots, what you call jingle, the Rugged Man RMD celebrity spots that I produced in 2005 are what led to the setup of art-to-art centers that you see in hospitals all over the country today. That was done in 2005. I am still making reference to it in trainings that I do till today. The campus live show I produced way back in 2003 is still what I use to train people today. You get it? Now, because I was able to follow the process. Now, when you're able to follow the process, your content would outlive you. Fela has gone long, long ago. The messages of his songs are still there till tomorrow. But we've heard of so many songs that have come and trended. Where are they today? Where are the artists today? All gone. If they don't release a new one, they'll be forgotten. But Fela, wherever he is, still collecting royalty, even after he's gone. So you must be willing to follow the process. So whatever training, there's content development training and all that. Allow us, we could link you to where you could do those trainings. When you see us put up those trainings, you should be able to join. So you must be willing to patiently follow that process to be able to make your content sustainable. And then when you're designing things, you must know who you're designing it for. So it must be according to the audience need. Now, a lot of content people just put content out there and throw it out there. Everybody laugh. Now, the ones designed to specific audience are the ones that are going to give you that real money. Now, not just the views. See, not just the views from your Facebook page, your TikTok and all that. Real funding that could come from so many other sources, NGOs, businesses, corporates, and all that, okay? And you must try to represent the lifestyle of wherever you're doing it. So for instance, I could put a content and target it to people in Nigeria. I'll take that same content and I'll do it in another way. I'll target it to those in South Africa. The people in Nigeria, the people in South Africa are not the same. The people in Abuja, the people in Kano, the people in Warri, the people in Efrum, people in Lagos, they're all different. Okay. So you must be able to target specific lifestyle. And that is what makes your content sustainable, and you could reuse it so many ways. Reflect culture of that place, create familiarity and consistency. Let people be able to remember that content, that they could always go back to it. Okay. My training sessions are never from textbooks. I share my own experience with people, so it's unique with me. And that's what makes it stand out. So there are things that I would say, and people will remember that, oh, it's Leonard that said this thing because it's unique. And then you have to set high production values. Now, thank God for the technology space. We'll talk about that later on if there's time. Where you have right now, you could upload 4K videos with just small internet and all that. So try to set high production values. Now, with your smartphone today, you could film anything, do anything. Now, it does not mean that you must go buy an expensive phone. No, it's not. I'm not in a studio. I'm just in my house. There's a cupboard behind me, and I'm not in anywhere, extravagant. Doing anything. You find me on the road anywhere, I could do whatever I want to do. But just try as much as possible within whatever space to make sure that you try to make it to be nice. Just make it nice. That is viewable. If you're speaking, let your audio sound well. Just make things, if the place is noisy, move away from where there's noise. Just make it to be good. Position your camera well, let your hands to be stable. If the screen was shaking now, you wouldn't enjoy this. Just try to do something that makes it to be good. Now, I will not click on anything. I will not watch anything. If it's not sounding well, if it's not clear enough, I wouldn't. So you have to take that into consideration. And then brand it. Be yourself. I'm not very good with branding myself. I'm looking for people that will brand me also. But there are certain things that are unique with me that people just like. Cleverest, for instance, is unique. It's the same Cleverest with a C, but we changed the C to K, just one word, and it made it unique. We changed center. Instead of you having your center that starts with C, we use like center of a woman, SC, and then TA at the end, center. So it just some things. My friend designed the K logo for me so many years ago. Then we didn't have the kind of things we have now to design really extraordinary logo. But as at that time when he designed, it was simple, just a K, but it was very unique and it stood out. So you must know how to brand yourself. And one thing I would say about you branding yourself and your content is just being you. What is that unique thing about you? What we see today is a lot of creatives trying to copy someone else. You can never be. They say if it's not Panadol, it cannot be Panadol. If it's not 7-Up, it cannot be 7-Up. You can never be that person. So create your own identity. Or all they will say is that, hey, you remind me of this person. And that's the end of your content. They will always be remembering Denzel Washington. Some actors that are Denzel wannabes. Denzel would always be above them. So you must look inwards. What is it about me that is unique? Is it my ugly voice? Is it my big ears? Oh, my rabbit teeth. What is it? What's that stupid thing about you that's unique that you could use to get yourself to stand out? And just make that your brand. Shaggy's stupidity now set him apart. What is it you have, right? And then package yourself very well. Even me, I don't know how to package myself very well. I help people package themselves, but even me, I'm struggling with that because I just try to be me in my house. That's how I am everywhere, in the office, wherever you see me, it's me. As simple as can be. Packaging does not mean go put on some expensive dress, expensive whatever. Guys these days spend 2 hours making up their game, their beard, and all that. And honestly speaking, I've done so many recruitments for so many organizations. I remember there was a time someone tried to change his hair to Dada just because he wanted to feel creative. He did dreads to feel creative. I remember sometime we were traveling to South Africa, and the other two guys with me had dreads. And then the guy at the embassy, he said, "These two have dreads. You don't have dreads. Why?" I said, "Mine is growing inside." And I learned it from one of my guy, one very creative guy. We call him Zagazinga, then in our office. And he was a very creative guy. He didn't have all that. He was just a simple guy. It's the same way you see me and you see the things I create. It's just me. So that is not the kind of packaging we are talking about. We are talking about packaging your content. Like now, what you can see on the screen now, they call it Gary Snacks. Now, while you buy a model of Gary for a certain amount, you're going to buy this one 10 times that amount, and this is not even up to that. Okay, take all those things I said earlier. So when you put that content together and when you push it out, people would value it, and then it will be premium quality. Now, for me, for instance, I'm out there, I do free things, I do a lot of things, because I do that because I am trying to help people grow, change the narrative. Okay, but you're not going to find me in some certain places or some certain settings. Let me put it like that. You must make yourself to be valuable. People must demand you. Now, why do people ask me to come give sessions? Why do people invite me to do trainings? Why is the Cleverest Center WhatsApp group the largest media development WhatsApp group in Nigeria today, even though we don't push it out, we don't promote it? I don't know any other media-related WhatsApp group that has over 1,000 people in the group, that is into media development. Why? There must be a reason. There's something that people see there that is of value that they are being attracted to. So rather than you put your dress or your dreads trying to be creative, let that thing you produce speak for you. I remember when someone went to my Facebook post in 2007 or thereabout and typed, he had gone there, he had laughed, he had come back, he came back hours later and posted. And said 10 hours later, I'm still laughing from this thing you shared. He came back again. Let there be something, well packaged that people always want to come back to, that they won't just look at you, say, "Oh, this is ordinary. This is copy. This is, let yours stand out, okay?" Then when you do that and do things, this is my Nokia phone that I bought in 2003. You can see Facebook inside the Nokia phone now. Can't you see it? Are we hearing me at all? Are we still hearing me?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Good.
we can hear you, sir.
Because network can misbehave sometimes. That's my Nokia 3310 in 2003 browsing. Is it true or false? But that is what people would say. And that's what will make you stand out. They'll say, no, it can't be. It's a lie. That's not possible. How can that happen? I remember when I was asked to produce the first reproductive health program in Nigeria in 2003, I was asked not to put a music bed under. I was asked to make it a discussion program, and it was supposed to be for young people. And it was supposed to be talking about reproductive health. You know, that is boring. How will this thing happen? How would it work? And this white guy said, the white guy said, no, it has to be just, I said, what will I do? So I had to think. Even though I didn't have the fun to do that, I called up Clint the Drunk, who was the biggest celeb comedian then. And I said, hey, I don't get 10 kobo to pay. They paid him a huge amount of money to come for a night of 1,000 laughs in Abuja. I said, hey, my show is starting on Saturday, 10 o'clock. I want you to be the guest. No worry. After, and he had another show in Lagos by 1 p.m. I said, no problem. Immediately after the show, we'll drive you to the airport straight. So you can imagine me having Clint the Drunk as a guest on a show that was originally supposed to be boring. And guess who did the lineup for me at the beginning? Then Two-Face had not released that is Keep On Rocking song, and he used it to do the intro. So you can imagine hearing the voice of the biggest artist, you know, saying something like, I can remember it as at the waka, they go, waiting at the plan, na a funky show. After the show, na the party, the party go happen for my radio. Yeah, it's Two-Face Dibia, and I'm just gisting in Just Gisting. The show was called Just Gisting. And instead of us using a G for the J, the just was just, but for the gisting, instead of us using G, we used a J. And it was a listener that sent it. 1 month before, I had 1 month to come up with 13 editions of this show and put it on air, and he had to go on live. Cool FM in Abuja live, and then we aired the repeat, Cool FM Lagos, the next week. So how would I make this show really exciting? I got the listeners involved. We've started a promo. A new show is coming up. Suggest names, and it was one girl from Kubwa in Abuja that sent the text message with Just Gisting, and we took it and we gave her a gift, and it became the name of a program. You see, just a letter changed a show, made it unique, turned it into something else, and that was the groundbreaking show for reproductive health in Nigeria. And that was what just you know, you get it. So people will not believe it could happen. What got me the job was, while I was doing Campus Life, I used my Campus Life show to apply for an international training. 10 of us were selected. And I used the stadium during the All Africa Games of 2003 to do a report on HIV. Now, what has stadium got to do with HIV? And they said, wow, this is creative. And they gave me a job straight. And I had to design that show. So when you do all this, you're going to come up with things and people will say, no, this is not possible. It's a lie. How can this happen? And that is what will just make you forever. You see stories of 2003 I'm sharing today in 2025, and they still stand out. And their records have been able to create and put out there that have not been broken till today, and many won't even be broken. When you are first, you're first. Are you getting it? All right. And then you must not bother about competition. Have you found yourself in this kind of situation in school? You see the guy in front, he has finished that many booklets. See the one behind looking at him, you know, and that one will lose concentration and he most likely would fail. Don't bother about the competition. Just do your own. Be you and stand out there. And that's the way you would be able to make it. Let me not spend too much time again. And then the other part is this. Don't try. I see celebrities, content creators, try to bring down other content creators, try to discredit other ones. You don't do that. Just be yourself. Make yourself good. It says blowing out someone else's candle won't make yours shine brighter. Look, I used my Cleverest Center, then it was group. We didn't have pages then on Facebook, way back then. I used my Cleverest Center group then to promote anybody that was doing anything, whether it's the Linda Ikeji's that we know today are billionaires or whoever. Once I see, so long as it's not anything political or immoral or controversial or things like that, I see anybody doing anything, I post it on that page. Lori Supergirls we are today, I post their stuff on the page. Their pages were not bigger than Cleverest Center page then. I shared all that. I helped anybody to grow. I helped all the big artists in this world. I took their CDs around the country. I didn't collect any kobo from anybody. The names go and ask them. So it's not going, it might not bring dollars into your pocket. I don't have those kind of money, but till tomorrow, it's still feeding me. I have the respect and things are still coming to me. I sit in my house and people call me, hey, Aro, come do this. Because I helped others. People are grateful about what I was able to do for them. So that's what you have to do if you want to be sustainable. And that's the way you will stand out in the crowd. Am I the only person that does this training? Am I the only media person? Monday was my birthday. Because I had a lot of work to do this week, I didn't post about it because in years past, it takes me months to reply to, because I like replying to every single message that anybody sends to me. I've developed that habit, long ago. You send me a WhatsApp message, send me a Facebook message, I must reply, no matter how long it takes. And it takes me a long time to reply to birthday messages from my various, profiles. If I post it, and the thing is that I interact with all the people. I have over 15,000 contacts on my phone, and I interact with everybody. I have 30,000 on LinkedIn, which is the limit. Facebook, 5,000 is the limit. And I have several profiles. And I try to relate with everybody. So you can imagine if just 10% of that number sends me birthday greetings, what will happen? I deliberately, because I was very, very busy this period. I deliberately not. Last year I also didn't post, and I think the year before that. So you would stand out. You will stand out. Your name would not be known for luxury and all that, but will be known for that content space, that creative space that you are in. Okay? The musicians will respect most are not the richest. They are not. The content people will respect most are not the richest. Those ones with all their money could fade, but the one that stands out that people respect, you last forever. Okay? And then this one, there are people who post things out. Like, for instance, when I used to help artists with their promos, upcoming artists will send me their CDs and I'll say, hey, go change this thing. And they'll tell me, every other person I sent it to, some of them would even get angry. Some will not even come to me again. But say every single person I sent it to said is beautiful, is nice, is all that. That rugged man spot, what you call jingle, 1 minute HIV spot, that in the history of HIV spots in Nigeria was the most successful, done in 2005. I remember when I was working at another international organization called Internews Network, we did this training. We brought some of the most creative young people in the industry. Mode 9 then was a presenter at Silverbird Rhythm FM. We had Ashonye, who was at Cool FM, Noble at Rhythm. Noble was the one that rode the bike when Wyclef came to Nigeria. We had Nike Coca, a lot of the creative guys Uche Mekechukwu of AIT then, the guy that was doing Bedu then, the most creative guys in the industry, pulled all of them together. Now, I was the, let me say, support trainer then, and this was in 2004, 2003 or 4, or thereabout. And I came up with this idea, and they were like, we're producing this creative, spots and jingles. And they were like, how can one celebrity just come and talk? Because everybody have the kind of picture. Some of you have seen the Femi Kuti HIV picture. It's not a show for face. A celebrity just comes and talks. We have that kind of mindset. So they were like, no, this one will never ever work. And they killed it. And when I came into the BBC and we're producing those spots, now this spot was not among the ones the organization decided that we were to produce. I just said, let me try this. Rugged Man came into Abuja to be a guest on Flavor, and I was to use him to produce. Then I wasn't the producer of Flavor, I was the producer of the HIV spot. You saw all those, my name is Amina, I'm HIV positive on TV and all that. I produced those things. So now he came in and I asked him, have you done HIV test before? Meanwhile, I had written a script and I knew I would use him to do this HIV spot. Have you done HIV test before? And he says, no. The natural mind is that Rugged Man is not qualified to produce any jingle to talk about HIV because he had not done it before. If this was a physical setting, I would have played it for us. And then I paused. And then he looked at me and he said, I've escorted my friend to do this before. And I said, bingo. This cartoon where the light bulb would just pop up on your head? Bingo, that's the story. And we produced it. Then I did the one with RMD, using the character of Shegun Kadiri when he was acting during the days of Checkmate, the show Checkmate, and a couple of others. And those became the most successful HIV spots ever in the history of Nigeria. That's what led to the setup of heart-to-heart centers in every hospital you go to, because the demand for testing after those spots went out rose by well over 500%. And this is something that just a year earlier, the most creative young brains in the industry said, Kai, this can't work. I'm telling you, don't just throw it away. Think about it. Try it out, and you'll be surprised what will happen. And I tell that story till today. Okay? So what do you do next to make that money, as time is not our friend? Explore all avenues, all your social media platforms. You must maximize the use of the space. I am surprised when I see people walk up to me. You want to be a content creator, you want to be very successful, you want to be very creative. I am not on this platform. I am on only Insta. I am not on this one. And I'm looking. Be everywhere. You have to be everywhere. Deliberately be everywhere. Okay? And then adopt technology. Now we've moved away from virtual reality. We are now doing augmented reality. AI is there. You must be able to adopt technology, maximize it, go learn AI, learn all those things. Whatever you can learn. Unfortunately for me, I'm not able to learn some of all these things now. That's why I'm begging you, if you're a young person today, go kill yourself in technology. Learn all these things and use them. They could make your work to be something else. All those things we talked about. Now, with just one app, and everything that you said was a problem with data, time management, and everything is all gone. Okay? And know that there is that thing they call convergence. So when you have a smartphone today, know that you own a radio TV station. That's the truth. The technology they use to I set up radio and TV stations today. So if you know anybody who wants to set up radio or TV station, call me. That's what I do these days, using technology that nobody has seen. The truth about it is that people who set up things today are still archaic. One popular station set up puts that they've opened state-of-the-art station, and I laugh in 2025 when so many years ago, no TV station in Nigeria is even broadcasting on HD. That's the truth. When years ago, countries have moved beyond whatever, we are using all those hardware. With just your one system, your phone, you'll send out 4K signals to the satellite. You have your TV station set up. So don't be looking for people to give you opportunity, platform. Someone will say, I don't have, what's it called? I don't have the opportunity to show my skill. I'm very creative. But you have a smartphone, for goodness sake. If you don't have one, you don't have money to buy a smartphone, go and borrow somebody's smartphone. WhatsApp now, WhatsApp has done it that several people can use the same phone, but let it be who you trust, chat, and use different WhatsApp. You can sign into, you can have several WhatsApp accounts on one WhatsApp platform. So you just switch from one account to the other. So there is a way, it's available. So tap into technology, use it. And then the other thing is collaborate, partnerships. Okay, I'm doing with this organization now, doing this. Tomorrow we could be doing a lot of things together. You know, sometimes everybody, you want to be on your own. Some people have resources, reach, and what you don't have. Now, if you're promoting someone, like for instance, I was promoting those contents from them, Leonard, KJ, and Co. As the content was trending, my page was also trending. You get it. So you collaborate. Now, since I'm collaborating with this organization, they are sharing this on their pages. I'm sharing it on mine. We are all growing, and we'll reach more people and we'll make more money. I don't have this resource. I walk up to, hey, let's do this together. But in Nigeria, we find it difficult to collaborate. Now, many times people call me, I receive that a lot, and they tell me, hey, I like us to collaborate. What they are simply saying is that, hey, you have something I want to use. That's not the kind of collaboration I'm talking about. You guys, you pool resources together, you do things together, you know, and you grow together, okay? And then, this is more complicated. I will not talk about this. See, you must be able to tag into what the government is doing, tag into what CSOs, development organization is doing, what the regular traditional media is doing. You can't be a content person and be isolated. Channels TV today, they changed their morning show. They now do morning brief, and at the end, they bring in one creative person. You know, they've used that platform now to promote so many people that even me, I wouldn't bother about. You know, there are NGOs that have funds that could use your content to do stuff. So you must think, what is happening? Okay, are there climate change issues? Rather than just posting some of those your skits, why don't you turn it around and say, hey, how can I use these skits to push, you know, development issues? And you'll be surprised. That's where the real sustainability and real bucks come. And in doing all this, you must be careful about regulator fines and legal issues. We've seen some of all these, our influencers get into trouble here and there. Some deliberately get into trouble and thinking the trouble would make them popular. There are people who have done that. We've seen so many of them. We've seen people post some scandalous things about themselves just to become popular. That's not sustainable. And by doing that, you've cut off some kind of funding. Now you post unnecessary thing, they sue you to court. Let's not just talk about what will happen to you. Okay? So you have to be careful about that. So now this is a strategy on how you make money with your content, the concept, you research, know your audience, you promote it, and then you market it. Okay, now there's a difference between promotion and marketing. Let's go take that course. Okay, you promote, you market, and that's how you make money. So you do a content and nobody is seeing it. You're not pitching it before anybody. It's just like winking in the dark. Now, how did I become a trainer in the BBC? I became head of training for a long time. It's because I was going to NYSC camp every year from 1999 to train coppers. And then I was always traveling, producing flavor and all that, and they were doing recruitment for trainers in-house. I didn't know it was a recruitment workshop. I thought they were just doing the regular workshops we did, trying to train us out to be trainers. And in between, you find out that the trainer will just be talking to us individually during tea break and lunch, just trying to find out about us. And that's how she found out that this is something I've been doing, training young people all this time and all that. And my name was the first to pop up when the result of the recruitment came from London. The email came up and my name, I just too picked. Why? Yes, I definitely performed well during the workshop, but it was more because this theme was in me, was something that I was, already doing before. And boom. And that's how it came up. But if I was not training people, if you don't speak in webinars like this, how would people know that this is a free webinar? But because if someone comes to this free webinar, they're going to pay me thousands to go do training somewhere. Are you getting it? So you must put yourself out there for people to see you, okay? And it's not just putting yourself out there, you have to be strategic with it. So go study that. And then these are some other things you could do online. I want to just skip all this. You could go find about, read about listening, social listening. Go read about it. You're going to find a lot of things and strategies you could do. And there's something here, direct contact with your target audience. Don't run away. You find out that I know you could be mobbed sometimes, but if you see Victor Osimhen, for instance, you see one of his videos, whenever they try to take the fans away from him, you say, allow them to come. I have seen celebrities people are even waving at them. They'll just throw their nose in the sky, especially a lot of my radio presenters. They'll just throw their nose in the sky. See, without that audience, you are nothing. The day they stop liking you, that's the end of you. You are nothing. So connect with your fans, connect with your audience, reply to messages they send online. I know it's difficult, so that's why you hire, when you become big, now you do it yourself, but when you become big, you have to get some interns, social media managers, and things like that. And, there are tools now that could give some auto response. Just make sure you connect with your listeners. I'm your fans. I remember that was one of the things that made my campus live show on radio then stand out. When it's time, you see people go tell all their village people to come listen, because if you send one message, the way I will hype you on air, you'll be shocked. Okay. So explore all platforms, like we said, use your unique selling point, develop a content strategy. So it's not just posting things carelessly. You must know why you're posting, what platform. There's a way you post on YouTube. All these are specific trainings that you need to go learn, and then cut cost when doing all these things. So that's the way to make money from anything. Try the simplest means, free tools. Don't go overboard. Start from where you are. Just do something, okay? I have the ability to do this very presentation somewhere else that is more cozy, more whatever, but I'm doing a lot of things right where I am right now. Okay, the organizers know this is not a very fine period for me. I'm extremely busy right now. So once this ends, I go back to what I'm doing, okay? So you must be able to use whatever you have to do what you can do, okay? And then archive every single thing you do. My first program on radio is right here today. I have clips from, things of you name it. When 1996, when I started filming things, they are all there. 1991, my first appearance on NTA is still with me till today. That VHS tape is still there. Now you must be able to archive whatever you do, because you could repurpose content and then make a lot from it. The recording I did of Wizkid, he doesn't know that I still have it. It has not gone out anywhere yet. The recording I did of Wizkid in 2008, before he released anything, I was at Night House, and Otello, his producer then, said, this guy is very good. Now play the song for me. I said, wow, what? And I told him, you'll be the biggest artist in this country. I pleaded him to do one thing, go to school. That's another day. But that recording is still with me till today. So imagine me releasing that recording. Or am I, when I used to take permission from their coordinator when he was in SS3 for them to come sing for us, those videos are still there till today. The deck he used to record his voice on cassette for the first time is still with me in my house till today. And the recordings are still there. Okay? So you must be able to archive things. Everything you do, you could use them. Anything you do is money. You don't know when it will yield fruit. Okay? So from this training now, take up and decide deliberate actions you want to do. But in everything you do, be made in Nigeria, be original, be yourself. Don't copy. Use your creativity to help this country to grow. Our creatives are not doing well enough. If not, all these crises we have, all the things politicians are doing, they would not be able to do it if our creatives are using that space well. They are not using it well. Let that be our focus. Okay, all the stories I shared with you today, see how the things we did brought down HIV. These peaceful elections we are having in the country, seemingly peaceful elections we are having in the country today, was something I started in 2009. Some of you might have seen the Media Peace Day. I remember in 2015, the politicians were praising themselves for giving us peaceful election and all that. And I had to organize an award with the youth group in my church in Abuja and gave award to all the media organizations in Abuja because they were the ones that did it. The concept we had in 2009 elections in Anambra, we trained people who were even producing children's programs, cooking programs, and they were doing things around the elections. The last Anambra elections, an organization invited me. We pulled all the media organizations to Abuja, and we did the same thing. All the violence they talk about, did you see it there? So you must think about that. And that is the way, because for instance, if the country is not good enough, it's not economically sound, where would you have the data to post, the money to get data to post that your creative thing? Okay? So we must do that if we want to survive. This is a road in Imo State. We went there in 2008. That thing had been there like that. If you look up, you'll see a church at the top. That's where the road ended. See us standing in the gully there. Erosion had eaten that road. It had been like that for 15 years. And we went there and we did a couple of posts, and I posted just like this, your picture story on the BBC website. And immediately that thing went on. The state government went there and did the road. That's the same road that had gulped millions for 15 years and corruption and all that. In what I posted, I didn't post anything about the government. I didn't post anything about those men you see there. The three in the middle are people who had properties there, who had something to do, and we're just sharing their stories and things like that, and other people that we met there. And everybody was just saying, hey, yeah, having emotions. And the government swung into action. The people who are living there today, immediately they did that road. The people who are living there today, that is the old naked road in Owerri, don't even know that once upon a time, this road was like that. You see how we use that creative way of doing something to fix this road. That is what makes your content to be sustainable. And that is what gives you the real money. You're going to get funds from development organizations. You're going to do campaigns. You're going to do so many things at the end of the day. And then when you think you have succeeded, I read every day, I study every day, I try to do new things. That's why none of my 2 sessions sound the same. Tom and Jerry, you remember them? Since 1960 something, they have been fighting. They will still keep on fighting till tomorrow. So when you think you've arrived, just go think of one new thing to do again to cause more trouble, more creative trouble. Thank you very much. I'm done. Hello.
Wow, thank you so much, sir. I can hear you, sir. Thank you so much for
Cool.
that insightful session. It's been an eye-opener for us. It's been so much of an exposure on how we can turn our talent into real-time money. We'll take audience questions if we have any, but before then, we would just like for you to give us more insight, especially we've seen people who are very creative and they have all these things you mentioned, or some of them, but they're still not able to get the right clients. So maybe there are some strategies or advices you can give them that would turn the tide for them. And we'll take questions from our audience before we wrap up.
Okay. So it's just like what I said earlier on about knowing your target audience. There are full trainings for that one. It's about knowing your target audience. Be very specific. See, even when you post on Facebook, you see on Instagram also, there's that place where they ask for you to select your audience. Sometimes you choose everybody, right? So that you believe that way so many people can see it. That's not being strategic. You must know who you are targeting with what specific content. So if I'm doing this training now for media managers, this same training, everything will be totally different. I'll use these same pictures, but everything I will say will be totally different. Okay, so you must know who you are targeting with that thing. Remember that slide that I said you must follow the process. That is what we don't do. So where you see trainings, go for training on how to be able to learn the process of content production, not just these things these kid people do just put out there. No, if you really want to go far, learn that process. So you know who you're targeting with your content, who it's for. And then who do you want to market it to? You should also know that. You go study about that organization, know their needs. What do they need? What are they trying to achieve? What's their aim, their objective? So how can we tailor our messaging to fit into that? You do what we call a message brief, where you know exactly the objective, what you want to get out of that content to reach those people. Now, also go study what they call elevator pitch, where you are able to say what your content is about in one simple sentence. You meet Dangote at the elevator. What can you share with him? Many times, if I ask you, tell me what this is about, you go start what we call it, rambu around, and no. You must be able to go straight to the point and say, hey, this is what this is for. I can sit down here and I can tell you that Flavor is a magazine show for young people between the ages of 15 to 24, helping them to make informed choices about their sexual and reproductive health. I last produced that program in 2008, but I could still remember it because we followed the process. We knew why that content is going out there. Okay, so whatever you do, follow the process and then know your target audience, design it specifically. You're going to find out what do this target audience like. So what they like is not what the message is. Rather, is what you use to push the message. What the message should be will be what they need. Now, what they need many times might not be exciting, might not be very interesting, just like HIV, boring, But we found out that they loved entertainment, they loved celebrities, they loved the music and all that. And then we use the celebrities, the bands, all of them, and we use them to push what we needed to push. So that what they like attracts them, and then you pass that message across. So something has to bring them in first. So when you hear stations say things like more music, less talk, we have many stations, you have them plenty there in Lagos, play music from morning till night. That's rubbish. You're not going to get any money. That's why they can't pay salaries. Okay. More music, less talk does not mean more music like that. So what do you want? Entertainment? No. It means use that music and entertainment to prepare their mind so that they can get what information you want to pass to them. Is that information that you want to pass to them, the usefulness of that information to their life that would make them want to come back and keep clicking to your page. We don't do anything really exciting in Cleverest Center, but why do people still want to join the group? Because they're gaining something from it. Okay, so that's the thing. Know your target audience, know what they like, use what they like to design your message and put that message, which is what they need inside, and strategically send to them. Know the business person or target audience you want, where you want the money to come from, and also consider what they are trying to target and push it. Use the right platforms and think of the right times also when you find those people, and then you move on. Ask AI that question on your WhatsApp. It will answer you also. It will give you tips. You see, the resources are there with us. When we're doing all these things, we don't get WhatsApp, we don't get smartphone, we don't get anyone. But now you have everything. So use it. Okay? Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir, for that. And this is how far we can go for the sake of time constraints. But before we go, we'll see some highlights of today's discussion, which include, but not limited to, he telling us to be able to think outside the box in our creative journey. And of course, he mentioned that we should be observant of our environment. That would help us to be able to get the right content and even monetization. Of course, taking notes is important according to our speaker. And he also said we should importantly be very willing to follow the process. Its creativity is a journey, and the process is one that should be followed through and through. And of course, we also have learned that we should set high value production value, that is, and we should be able to keep up with technology. AI is what is trending now, and as a creative in your journey, you should be able to inculcate technology and put yourself out there. Something else I learned. Your creativity journey would not be complete if you're not out there using all platforms to leverage. And of course, collaboration and partnerships is something that is essential in your creative journey. So a very big thank you to you, sir, for this session. We really appreciate your time and your expertise. It's been amazing. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much.
And I would also say a very big thank you to all our audience who joined in. We say a very big thank you. We appreciate your time and your attention. And of course, if you found this session valuable, you should be able to connect with the Creator Circle. We would post the link to our circle, our community where you can join and also learn from more insights to come. So thank you so much for your time, like we said. And this is about the end. But not to worry, we'll be bringing you more interesting webinars with the passage of time. Next month, we will bring another amazing edition to you. So stay tuned and have an amazing day ahead. Thank you very much for joining, everyone.
Thank you.